asking the questions, Jeremy Paxman.
Hello, welcome to another Battle of Student Wits. The draw for tonight's match has put one of the largest universities in Scotland against one of the smallest colleges in England. Edinburgh has nearly 14,000 students who enjoy a variety of traditions, from watching the sunrise from Arthur's Seat on the last night of Freshers' Week to attempting to steal the moose from the Teviot debating hall. An impressive array of alumni include the philosopher David Hume, the writers Robert Louis Stevenson, Conan Doyle and Sir Walter Scott, and more recently the politicians Gordon Brown and Robin Cook. Let's meet the Edinburgh team.
Hello, I'm Charlie Craston. I'm from Broughton in Hampshire and I'm reading classics.
Hi, I'm Ian Vellante from Birstall in West Yorkshire, reading astrophysics.
And their captain?
Hello, I'm Flora Watkins from East Burgo in Suffolk and I'm reading history.
Hello, I'm Anthony O'Connor from Christon in Lanarkshire, studying law.
Now, Peterhouse is the oldest college in Cambridge, and part of its architecture dates from 1290. It's also the smallest undergraduate college in Cambridge, with a student body of a mere 250. Students dine by candlelight beneath the stained glass windows of Ford Madox Brown and Edward Burne-Jones. Michael Portillo is one of the former students who benefited from this civilised existence. Michael Howard is another, but I should warn you that I will only ask the question once. Right, let's meet the Peterhouse team.
My name is James Campbell. I'm from Melbourne, Australia, and I'm doing a PhD in history.
Hi, I'm Frank Simon. I'm from Wimbledon, and I'm reading history.
And their captain?
Hello, I'm Alison Hughes from Omagh, County Tyrone, also reading history.
Hi, I'm Dave Abenshaw from London, reading computer science.
Right, just one quick reminder to you all, there's a 5-point penalty if you interrupt to start a question incorrectly. Otherwise, starters are solo efforts worth 10 points, bonuses are team efforts worth 15. Fingers on the buzzers, here's your first starter for 10. In February 1999, the findings of an inquiry chaired by Sir William Macpherson were published. What was the subject of the inquiry?
Peterhouse Simon.
The Stephen Lawrence murder.
That's right. You get 3 questions on European cities then, Peterhouse. In which European capital, located on the Danube, were the ancient city walls replaced in 1857 by the Ringstrasse, a broad boulevard encircling the old city?
Belgrade.
No, it's Vienna. In which European city, located at the head of Lake Issel, does the old church occupy a site which has been the location of a church since 1300?
Geneva.
No, it's Amsterdam. As well as in Paris, there is another Arc de Triomphe in northern Europe. It can be found in the same city as the Grande Place. Which city?
Brussels.
It is Brussels, yes. Another starter question. First reported on Friday, the 26th of March, 1999, who or what was Melissa?
Edinburgh Vellante.
Computer virus.
That's right. Right, here are your bonuses. Which annual payment derives its name from the fact that until 1831 the salaries of judges and civil servants were paid from the allowance, although now it refers to the amount allowed by Parliament for the royal family's household expenses?
Civil list.
Correct. In which operetta by Gilbert and Sullivan does the Lord High Executioner boast that he has a little list?
Mikado.
Correct. Which documentary work, first published in 1982, has appeared under 2 titles? One, a list, the other, an ark.
Schindler.
Schindler's Ark and Schindler's List is correct. Another starter question for a possible 10. Who's being described? Born the son of a vicar in 1772, he incurred massive debts from his debauched behaviour and left Cambridge without a degree. A brief stint in the army saw him discharged on a plea of insanity. He formulated, but abandoned, a plan to build a utopian society in Pennsylvania, and in 1797 he formed a lifelong friendship with William Wordsworth.
Edinburgh O'Connor.
Thomas Gray.
No, anyone want to buzz from Peterhouse?
Peterhouse Campbell.
Coleridge.
Yes, of course it was Coleridge. Samuel Taylor Coleridge. 3 questions on names for your bonuses, Peterhouse. In March 1999, Victoria Adams, otherwise known as Posh Spice, gave birth to a son whose first name is the New York district she was staying in when she found she was pregnant. What is the child's middle name, though, which he shares with his father?
Sydney.
Sydney, no, it's Joseph. One of the most influential figures of the 19th century, which Briton was born on the 12th of May 1820 and named after the European city of her birth?
Florence Nightingale.
Yes, it was. Born about 1489, Antonio Allegri was one of the leading artists of the Renaissance. His works included Jupiter and Antiope and Ecce Homo. During his life and since, he has been known by which name? That of the small town near Parma where he was born.
Da Vinci.
Da Vinci.
No, it's Correggio. Another starter question now. Born in St. Joseph, Missouri in 1904, with which instrument was the jazz musician Coleman Hawkins particularly associated?
Peterhouse Campbell.
Saxophone.
Yes, the tenor saxophone is correct. Here are your bonuses then, Peterhouse. They're on women's firsts in sport. How did Wendy Toms make Football League history at Torquay United's Plainmoor ground on August the 20th, 1994?
The first woman referee.
No, I don't think I'm going to accept that. She was the first woman official. She was an assistant referee or linesman, so I'm afraid she hasn't yet to refereed any league or premiership match. In 1996, Alex Greaves became the first woman to ride in which race, coming last on the 500-to-1 shot Portuguese Lille?
The Derby.
It was the Derby, yes. In November 1998, Jane Couch, the self-styled Fleetwood assassin, beat Germany's Simone Lukic in which sport in the first officially licensed contest for women in Britain?
Boxing.
It was professional boxing, yes. 25 against 50, we're going to take a picture round now. For your picture starter, you're going to see a patent design drawing filed in 1994. 10 points, please tell me the name of this device.
Peterhouse Abensor.
An oil filter.
No, anyone want to buzz from Edinburgh? No, you all look blank. I tell you, it's a widget, one of those things in the bottom of a beer can. We'll take the picture bonuses when we get a starter question got by somebody or other. Here it comes for 10 points. The name of which American journalist is considered the source of a mild expletive or expression of surprise, although he's also noted...
Edinburgh Volante.
Gordon Bennett.
Gordon Bennett is right, yes. For your bonus questions, you're then going to get more patent drawings, 5 points each if you can identify the device. Here's the first, filed in 1934. Come on.
Camera. Camera.
No, it's not. It's Percy Shaw's design for cat's eyes. Here's the second, filed in 1928.
A plunger.
No, it's a tea bag. Here's the last, filed in 1992. Come along.
A digital tape player.
No, it's a clockwork radio designed by Trevor Bayliss. Right, another starter question now for a possible 10. Edited from a coffee house in St James's by Sir Richard Steele, which magazine, still appearing today, was first published in 1709, early issues containing items about the best tables in fashion...
Peterhouse Campbell.
Data.
No, you lose 5 points in fashionable restaurants and whether it was socially acceptable to wear high-heeled red shoes at parties.
Edinburgh Crescent.
Is it Punch?
No, it's the Tackler. Another starter question. Which site in London opened in 1839 as a business venture launched by the engineer and entrepreneur Stephen Geary for the affluent middle classes of North London? Members of the Rossetti family, the scientists Michael Faraday and Karl Marx are among those buried there.
Peterhouse Campbell.
Highgate Cemetery.
Highgate Cemetery is correct, yes. Here are your bonuses then, Peterhouse. The second magnitude stars Delta, Epsilon and Zeta appear to lie in a straight line and form part of a bright equatorial constellation. How are they collectively known?
Orion's Belt.
Correct. Which British general was the commanding officer of the 2nd Punjab Cavalry, was awarded the VC for gallantry in 1858, and is now best remembered for his invention of a belt worn by army officers?
Sam Brown.
It was Sir Samuel Brown. And finally, for 5 points, what name is given to the low-pressure calm latitudes which lie between the belt of northeasterly trade winds of the northern hemisphere and the southwesterly trade winds of the southern hemisphere?
The doldrums.
That's correct. Another starter question. 10 if you can get this. Which word derives from the Greek for perception and refers to the branch of philosophy concerned with the essence and perception of beauty?
Edinburgh O'Connor.
Empiricism.
No.
Peterhouse Campbell.
Aestheticism.
Aesthetics is what I was looking for. I think I'll accept aestheticism, though. Right, 3 questions on archaeology, Peterhouse. Discovered in 1899, partly reconstructed by Sir Arthur Evans and, according to Greek mythology, the site of the labyrinth of King Minos, Knossos is a Bronze Age city in which Mediterranean island?
Crete.
Correct. The House of the Faun, the House of the Veti and the Villa of Mysteries are buildings within which site first excavated in 1748?
Pompeii.
Correct. The American explorer Hiram Bingham discovered which ancient Inca city in 1911?
Machu Picchu.
Machu Picchu is correct, yes. Another starter question. Perhaps you can get going with this one, Edinburgh. Born in 1705, which Essex butcher's early criminal career involved theft...
Peterhouse Campbell.
No, you lose 5 points. Involved theft of livestock to stock his business. He later expanded his activities to Epping Forest and Hounslow Heath and moved to Yorkshire, where he was apprehended and hanged in 1739.
Edinburgh Watkins.
Is it Dick Turpin?
It is Dick Turpin, yes. Right, your bonuses, Edinburgh, are on the films of Robin Williams. Firstly, for 5 points, after the success of Good Morning Vietnam in 1987, which anti-war film of 1992 was also directed by Barry Levinson and starred Robin Williams, this time alongside Joan Cusack?
No, sorry, we don't know.
Toys. In Awakenings, Robin Williams played Dr. Malcolm Sayer, who revived stricken victims of the great sleeping sickness of the 1920s. Which real-life doctor wrote the book of his experiences on which the film was based?
Oliver Sacks.
Correct. Believing that laughter is the best medicine, what is the name of the doctor played by Robin Williams in a film first released in 1998?
Patch Adams.
Patch Adams is correct, yes. Here's another starter question for 10. Which scientist's less well-known works included The Volcanic Islands, published in 1844, Fertilization of Orchids in...
Peterhouse Hughes.
Darwin.
Charles Darwin is right. Here are your bonuses then, Peterhouse. Which European country has given its name to both a species of lobster and a species of rat? Come on.
Paris.
No, it's a country I was looking for. It's Norway. Which post was held by the Norwegian diplomat Trygve Lie between 1946 and 52?
Secretary General of the UN.
Correct. Which Norwegian artist was instrumental in establishing the Expressionist movement? His works often reflecting his own traumatic childhood, as in his painting The Sick Child from the early 1880s.
Max Ernst.
No, it was Edward Munch, sorry. Right, we're going to take a music round now, about halfway through the contest. For your music starter, you're going to hear an excerpt from a piece of classical music. All you have to do for 10 points is to tell me the name of the composer. Here it is.
Peterhouse Campbell.
Pachelbel is correct, yes. It's Canon in D for strings. So for your music bonus round, we've chosen 3 particularly evocative passages of classical music, and I want you to identify the composer in each case. 5 points for each correct answer. Here's the first piece. Speaking to you.
I know it's Adagio for strings, but I think Miller.
No, Samuel Barber. I needed the composer, I'm afraid. Here's the second.
Rossetti.
No, it's Bizet. It's that wonderful duet from the Pearlfishers. Here's the third.
Rossini.
No, it was Pietro Mascagni. Right, another starter question now. 55, 115, 10 points for this. Which word is the Latin for pebble and now refers to a specific branch of mathematical analysis?
Edinburgh Volante.
Calculus?
Calculus is correct. So you get, for your bonuses, 3 questions on 20th century dramatists. A 20th century dramatist. Firstly, for 5 points, the play submitted to BBC Radio under the title The Boy Hairdresser was broadcast in 1964 as The Ruffian on the Stair and was an early play by which dramatist?
Terence Rattigan.
No, it was Joe Orton. For which offence were Joe Orton and his partner Kenneth Halliwell imprisoned in 1962? Come on.
Public indecency.
No, it was defacing library books. Which of Joe Orton's plays was first produced in 1969, 2 years after his death, and includes the psychiatrist Dr. Prentice among its characters?
Lute.
No, it's What the Butler Saw. Another starter question now. Which Greek philosopher who died in 270 BC established a school of philosophy called the Garden? His name later became associated with the doctrine of personal happiness and sensual enjoyment being the greatest good.
Edinburgh Crasson.
Epicurus.
Epicurus is right. Right, your bonuses are on biology. What name is given to each of the following polymers of glucose? Firstly, an unbranched polymer of beta-1,4-linked glucose molecules and the main structural polysaccharide of cell walls.
Cellulose.
Correct. An unbranched polymer of alpha-1,4-linked glucose molecules serving as an energy storage polysaccharide in plants.
Starch.
Starch is right. And thirdly, a branch polymer of alpha-1,4-linked glucose molecules serving as an energy storage polysaccharide in mammals, especially in the liver and muscles. Come on. Come on, I'm going to count you out.
Glucose.
No, it's glycogen. Another starter question. Which monk founded the monastery at Monte Cassino where he established a rule of life which stressed...
Peterhouse Simon.
Benedict.
St. Benedict of Nursia is right. 3 questions on school fiction, Peterhouse. Which eponymous hero of school fiction was the creation of Anthony Buckeridge and was a pupil of Linbury Court School?
Storky?
No, it was Jennings. In the stories by Enid Blyton, which school did the close friends Darrell Rivers and Sally Hope attend? Come on.
Mallory Towers?
Correct. The girls' school fiction of Angela Brazil was a particular enthusiasm of which writer and broadcaster who had himself been a schoolmaster at Oundle? Come on.
Sorry, no.
It was Arthur Marshall. Another starter question. Michael Holroyd's biography of Lytton Strachey was the basis for which film?
Edinburgh Watkins.
Carrington.
Carrington is right, yes. After Dora Carrington. 3 questions on religious themes for your bonuses then, Edinburgh. Followers of which religious faith were given their present name in Antioch, Asia Minor, when some of its leading figures moved there in the 1st century? Come on, you've got ground to make up.
Coptic Christian.
No, it's Christianity. In Bunyan's Pilgrim's Progress, what was Christian's ultimate destination when he set off from the city of destruction?
Don't know.
The Celestial City. Who founded the Christian Science religious movement in Boston in 1979? Come on.
Chadvara.
No, he founded the Samaritans. It was Mary Baker Eddy. Another picture round now. Your picture starter is worth 10 points. It's a magnified photograph of which common parasite?
Peterhouse Hughes.
A flea?
It is a flea, yes. So following on from the flea, more magnified parasites for you to identify in your bonus questions. First for 5 points, the common name please for this creature. Come on.
An aphid?
No, it's a head louse. Revolting, isn't it? Secondly, for 5 points.
A dust mite. A dust mite?
It is a dust mite, yes. And finally, what's this?
Or a cockroach? No, it's a cockroach. Could be a flea.
Come on.
What? Okay, tick.
No, it's a bed bug. 4¼ minutes to go. Here's another starter question. In Greek mythology, what name refers both to an Attic goddess of fertility and the personification of divine anger at human presumption?
Peterhouse Simon.
Nemesis.
Nemesis is correct. For your bonuses, I want you to complete the following sayings attributed to Voltaire. Firstly, I disapprove of what you say, but I will defend to the death.
The right to say it.
Correct. If God did not exist, it would be necessary
To invent him.
Correct. It is one of the superstitions of the human mind to have imagined that what could be virtue? Come on.
Love.
It's virginity. Another starter question. Depicting a shipwreck of 1816 in which some mariners had been cut adrift and left to drown, The Raft of the Medusa is the best known work of which French painter? Oh, I'll tell you, it's Géricault. Another starter question. Used on the internet to indicate the degree of chaos predicted to be caused by the Millennium Bug, which 9-word phrase is represented by the acronym Teotihuacan, or the initials TEOTWAWKI?
Edinburgh O'Connor.
The end of the world as we know it.
The end of the world as we know it, yes. Right. Here are your bonuses. They're on clothing and fashion in history. Firstly, 5 points for this. Worn by followers of the Young Pretender and later by French revolutionaries, what is a cockade?
A 3-cornered hat.
It's not. It's a rosette worn in a hat or cap. For 5 points, fashionable from the 17th to the 19th centuries and still part of some formal dress for members of the legal profession in some European countries, where on the body would a jabot be worn? J-A-B-O-T.
Around the neck.
Round the neck, it's a frill of lace. Popular at the end of the 19th century, particularly with Queen Mary, which woman's name was given to a deep-falling lace collar attached to the top of a low-necked dress?
We don't know.
That's a Bertha. Another starter question now. Which enterprising woman, born Marie Groscholz in Strasbourg in 1761, became art tutor to Louis XVI's sister and later established herself in London's Baker Street?
Edinburgh Watkins.
Tussaud.
Madame Tussaud is right. Here are your bonuses. In which part of the world is January the 10th known as Margaret Thatcher Day in commemoration of her visit there in 1983?
Falklands.
Correct. Who is said to have exchanged his first words with Margaret Thatcher for over 22 years when they discussed the comfort or otherwise of their armchairs
Edward
during a
Heath.
debate about Europe at the 1998 Conservative Party conference?
Edward Heath.
Correct. Which former MP had a cardboard cutout of Margaret Thatcher at the door of his home in Nether Alderley, Cheshire? Come on.
Giles Brandreth.
No, it was Neil Hamilton. 1.5 minutes to go, another starter question. ABBA's Waterloo, Tears for Fears, everybody...
Edinburgh Crescent.
They won the Eurovision Song Contest.
No, you lose 5 points. And Lulu's Boom Bang a Bang were, according to Index on Censorship's book, smashed hits among songs banned by the BBC early in 1991 because of what event? You must buzz. You may not... No, I'm sorry, I'm going to have to rule you out. You cannot... You've conferred there. You can't confer. We'll take another starter question now. In 1890, which Polish-born writer travelled to the Congo Free State and visited the...
Peterhouse Campbell.
Conrad.
Joseph Conrad is correct. 1 minute to go. Here are your bonuses, Peterhouse. 3 questions on fictional governesses. Which literary heroine made a secret marriage to Rawdon Crawley, son of Sir Pitt Crawley, to whose children she had been a governess?
Becky Sharp.
Correct. Which governess begins the last chapter of her story with the words, "Reader, I married him"?
Jane Eyre.
That's right. The villainous governess Miss Slycarp appears in which novel by Joan Aitken, where England under James III in the 1830s is overrun by wolves that have strayed through the newly opened Channel Tunnel? Come on. Come on.
In the Company of Wolves.
No, it's the Wolves of Willoughby Chase. Less than 30 seconds to go. Another starter question. In Greek mythology, which of Artemis's nymphs was changed into a bear and set among the stars after having been seduced by Zeus?
Peterhouse Hughes.
Ursula.
No, anyone to buzz Redmond quickly?
Edinburgh O'Connor.
No, it was Callisto. Another starter question. The first full series of which television comedy in 1989 included episodes called Some Enchanted Evening, There's No Disgrace Like Home, Homer's Odyssey, and Macedon. Edinburgh have 125, Peterhouse have 185. Well, Edinburgh, you started well, but once Peterhouse had got their noses ahead, you didn't really get back in. But 125 is a very respectable score. Thank you very much for joining us. Peterhouse, well done, 185, good score. Look forward to seeing you in round 2. I hope you'll be able to join us next time. Until then, though, it's goodbye from Edinburgh University.
Goodbye.
It's goodbye from Peterhouse.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
And it's goodbye from me. Goodbye.